Hey guys, this is Alex. This is our week 2 video clip contest series explanation and results video. So I'm going to try to get through the first part fairly quickly so we can spend more time on the explanations. I don't want the video to go as long as last week. So um, thank you guys for the participation. We had great participation again this week. The numbers were higher, so great job. Keep that up. Let's make sure we keep that participation high in the last 3 weeks here. All right, first up, the results. So our most missed clip was number 4. Only 20% answered that one correctly, so I'll make sure when we get to number 4 that we spend a little extra time and go into detail and see why so many people missed that one. Average score was 3.32 out of 7, so that's about 47%. Last week was 46%. Just to give you all a gauge on sort of our goal here, our goal with these would be to land somewhere close to 70 to 75% correct on average. So, we have a good goal to work towards. We still have 3 more weeks to, improve our average as a group. But I think that these averages are really reflective of how many people are using the considerations. Okay, and I urge you all to, excuse me, to really go in and have these up and open while you're doing these video clips. Take your time. There's no rush. You don't have a clock ticking down with a time limit. You can spend as long as you want on each clip. Okay, so I think that again, I just want to stress that using the considerations will help you improve your score. Okay, this week's winner, we only had one person get more than 5 correct, so that person was Joe Kirkpatrick. Joe got 6 out of the 7 correct, so great job, Joe. Joe had a really good answer on question number 5, our bonus question, so he got full points on that one. So thank you, Joe, for your participation, and we will be reaching out to you shortly with your details on your prize. So thanks, Joe, and great job. All right, let's get right to the clips here. Before we do that, sorry, we're going to do the considerations for this. Hopefully you've already seen these for penalty area incidents. It was in the link that I sent everybody last week. So angle of view, proximity, obvious simulation, 100% no contact. If you're not 100% sure, we need to play on. Initiating or exaggerating contact. And then finally, the teamwork aspect of penalty area incidents, opinion, decision, confirmation. Okay, so again, these are super important, and a couple of them reference very, very directly to the clips, and I'll make sure that I hit on that when we get there, but you need to have these up every time you're looking at these videos. Okay, all right, to the clips. I'm going to do it on YouTube this week so that we can put them on full screen here. All right, so our first clip here, we have a little through ball here. We have a challenge by the defender. Okay, this is a good one because at first glance, you're not really sure how bad it is, or if it's a foul, or if it's not a foul. So you really have to pay attention. This is the VAR room, so I'm going to back it up. You really got to pay attention to, does the defender get the ball? Okay, the direction of the ball changes right when the defender slides in, and we can see here that he does in fact get the ball. Okay, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to pause it for you guys at a certain place, so give me a second. Okay, so right here, down in your bottom right corner of your screen, the defender clearly gets the ball first. All right, plays it away. Okay, so I think it's pretty obvious that, up until now, we don't have any foul. There's nothing wrong. Okay, so I think the tough part of the clip comes in the second part with the secondary contact. So the secondary contact is right here. Okay, so the defender gets the ball, plays it away, and then his follow-through leg comes in and hits the back of the defender's leg here. All right, so the tough part about this clip is that, yes, there's secondary contact, and if that kind of tackle happens at full speed, it's going to look really bad, and you know, some people may even say it's a red card. But for this clip, since it's such low speed, he gets the ball first. We're in the penalty area, so we need to be 100% sure. What FIFA wants and what we want on this is no foul. Okay, no foul, no card. It's a good play on the ball. The contact, the reason this is not a foul is because the contact after is trifling at best, and it's low speed. It may look bad, but if you really watch it and slow it down, it's not that bad a contact. And the defender, you know, he's kind of ready for it and sort of falls over with it. So, you know, it looks bad, but the referee in this clip gets it 100% right. This is no foul, no card, we play on. We have clear play on the ball first there. The secondary contact is something we do want to pay attention to. We can't just ignore it. And if the secondary contact warrants a foul, then we can award a foul. But in this clip, the secondary contact does not warrant a foul. It's just a trifling kind of contact. All right, so if you have the ball played first and the secondary contact is trifling, you should have no foul. All right, so the official decision for this clip is no foul, no card. Okay, let's move on to number 2. This is Mark Geiger again, American referee. All right, so I think most of us had this clip correct in the sense that it wasn't a foul, but where we had some people miss it was a lot of you answered that it should be simulation. Okay, so we're going to see a really good replay here, and what I want you to pay attention to is if there's contact at all, any kind of contact between the attacker and the defender. All right, here comes our replay. Is there any contact? Okay. And I'm going to back it up just a little bit to that first view. Sorry. Okay, so right here, it's really hard to stop it. Sorry, I'm going to try to get it for you so we can see the contact. The attacker does, in fact, right here, he is, in fact, hitting the defender's foot. Okay, so this is tough to determine if you should have simulation here or just no call. And I understand why some people put simulation, but we need to look at it as a whole. All right, there is contact there. Lingard is bringing his foot down to kind of plant, and he kind of kicks the defender's foot. You know, it's not the defender's fault. There's nothing he can do about that. So I think it's pretty obvious that there's no foul here. All right, the defender slides in to challenge. Whatever reason, he misjudges the distance, or he decides to pull out of it or whatever. And Lingard brings his foot down and hits the defender. Okay, so while Lingard is not purposefully initiating the contact, he initiates that contact by bringing his foot down and hitting it right here. Okay, this is the contact. All right, so Lingard, you know, I'm not sure why he falls down like that. I think I don't think he's going to get to the ball really, and he kind of knows that. So he feels the nick on the foot right there. He feels this right here, so you know, he takes a step and falls. So is he exaggerating it? Absolutely. Okay, but if we think about the considerations for penalty area incidents, you can't have simulation if there's any contact. Okay, I'm actually pause this and go back to our PowerPoint, guys. Here, all right. This is why everybody who put simulation missed this. Okay, you're forgetting about this right here. Obvious simulation, 100% no contact. All right. In my opinion, the law book should say obvious simulation and not just simulation, because it's a big deal to give a player a caution for simulating a foul. Okay, that's saying a lot about the player and his character, and you need to be 100% sure if you're going to do that. You can't just throw around yellow cards for simulation. That's going to get you in really big trouble. So here, this clip is a great example of why you have to have 100% no contact before you give simulation. All right, and in this clip, Mark Geiger does a great job. He sees that there's a little bit of contact, but it's pretty clear it's not a foul. All right, but he knows there's contact, so he knows, okay, I saw the contact, but because of that, we can't have simulation. We're just going to play on, okay? And I really like what he does. He right after it happens, you know, he's saying, no way, we're playing on, nothing. He's saying nothing, okay? That's a confident way to show that, you know, I have no foul, and I think you exaggerated that, but we're not going to rise to the level of cautioning the player, okay, because there was some contact right down here on the foot, all right? So, official decision for this, no foul, no card, okay? Let's move on to number 3. All right, this one was a little tricky too, but I think if you slow it down and watch it, most everybody should get it correct. All right, so the foul is going to happen over here right on the edge, right there, okay? So this is a good example of a clip that's really important for your position and your teamwork, okay? So you need to have good position, and you need to be on the same page as your teammates. When I say teammates, your AR, okay? So the referee in this clip misses the foul, okay? So I will start off by saying that this is a foul, all right? But the real decision here is not if it's a foul or not, it's is it in the penalty area or not, okay? It's pretty obvious that the defender steps on the attacker's foot. I'm going to try to pause it for you right here, okay? This is the perfect freeze frame, okay? He's stepping on his foot, all right? That, if you've ever played and you've had this happen, it hurts. It hurts like you know what, okay? So this is a foul, 100%. There's not really any advantage here because of where the ball goes, and so you should have a foul here, okay? Now, how do we decide where it is, all right? What do the laws of the game say about the different areas and the boundary lines on the field, all right? It says that on top of a line is considered inside of that area, okay? So if the foul happens on this line, then it should be a penalty kick. If it happens outside the line anywhere, then we should have a direct free kick because it's not a penalty kick. It's a direct free kick outside the box. All right. It's the same reason that when the ball is allowed to be on the line, on the touch line, on the out of bounds line, because that is considered still in the field of play, being on the line. Okay. So you do have to break this down very precise to where the contact happens. And if you look exactly where the contact happens, it's pretty obvious that it is about, I don't know, let's say 5 inches off of the line, okay? So this is a clip where you should have taken advantage of being able to pause and slow this down, because if you pause it and slow it down, you can see the contact is clearly outside of the box, but it is clearly a foul because he's stepping on the guy's heel, okay, with his studs, all right? A couple of you put that this should be a yellow card for the foul. I can see why you would say that, but there's just no speed in it. The contact with the heel, while it is with the studs, it's pretty minimal, all right? And there's no SPA for stopping a promising attack, so the correct answer and decision for this clip should have been direct free kick, no card, okay? Because it occurs outside the box, and the foul is it's a careless foul. It's not a reckless foul, and it's not stopping a promising attack. So correct answer here, direct free kick, no card. Okay, let's move on. Clip number 4. This was our most missed clip, so let's make sure we nail this one down. All right. A lot of you might remember this clip from the World Cup, okay? And this is going to be a good segue into clip number 5. But as you see on the replay here, there's a lot going on in the box, and it's why you need to pay attention early on in crosses and services into the box, because that's when all the crap happens, all right? So right here, I'm going to pause it, okay? You see this right here? If you don't think that that's a foul, all right, then we need to kind of go back to square one, all right? You have to have a foul here, guys, period. I don't want the discussion on this clip to be about whether or not this is a foul, okay? It should be about the misconduct decision of do we have a card or not, all right? So I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on why this is a foul, because this is a complete mugging right here. This guy has two arms wrapped around him. This guy has his left arm up wrapped around his shoulder, okay? And the red player is trying to jump up to challenge for the ball, okay? And he's being completely held down. All right, you can't do that. You can't do that, guys. He gets tackled. Look at that. All right, that's a football. That's an American football play. That's not a soccer play. All right, you just can't grab people like that. They have a hold of him for 5 seconds before the ball even gets served into the box. Okay, you can't tell me if they did not do that, if they didn't pull him, that he wouldn't have had a good chance to play the ball there. He absolutely would have. All right, so to start off, we 100% have a foul here. Okay, so I really want to spend most of the time deciding what our decision is on the misconduct. Okay, so you should have a penalty kick, period. All right, let's talk about the misconduct. All right, it's a little tricky to have misconduct on things like this because they don't look like other misconducts that happen on the field, but you kind of have to think of this in a spa kind of way, like stopping a promising attack. So would you describe this holding as careless or reckless? Okay, and I hope that you would lean more towards reckless, because it's just not, they're just being reckless. It's hard to describe it any other way, guys. You can't just wrap somebody up with your arms. That's an obvious foul that you're committing on purpose. Okay, so for me here, you could book either one of those players. All right. I think FIFA says, FIFA wants you to book the player in front. So I believe that FIFA is asking to book this player over here. But honestly, this guy's just as guilty as the front player. So take your pick, book either one of them. Okay. We did have a couple say red card. The only reason this isn't a red card is just because it's not obvious that it's going to be a goal scoring opportunity. Would the guy have gotten a shot off if he didn't get held? Probably, because he's taller than the other two defenders, but there's two defenders here. He's not facing the goal. He's facing kind of away from the goal up here because he's contorting his body to hit it. All right. And it's just not super, super clear that we're going to have a goal scoring opportunity here. So that's the only reason it can't be a red card. I can kind of appreciate where you guys are coming from, and I understand that a little bit, that, it's so obviously in front of the goal, we should have a red card, but you got to remember the 4 Ds, all right? Direction, number of defenders are the two that we don't really have here, because it's just, there's 2 defenders and he's not really facing the goal even, okay? So we can't give a red card. But yellow card is absolutely warranted here, all right? Let's watch the replay one more time to see why we should have a penalty kick and a yellow card, okay? So watch, they start holding him right here. The ball hasn't even been served in yet, okay? You've got to swivel your head. When you feel the ball about to be served into the box, you got to swivel your head, all right? That's the way you're going to catch this, all right? So I want to talk about this clip just a little bit more, and some of the real life repercussions it had. So this is a big game, all right? This referee, Felix Birch, he's a great referee. Everybody knows it. He's one of the best in the world. And unfortunately, because of this play, his World Cup actually ended after this, all right? And he was actually sent home, okay? So one of the biggest points of emphasis that not just the world but MLS had was holding and pulling in the penalty area, okay? They want that stuff out of the game, because it's not a soccer play to hold somebody in the penalty area like this, all right? So points of emphasis were, for specifically this World Cup and for the MLS at this time, was pulling and pushing and holding in the penalty area, okay? They just don't want that stuff in the game, all right? And so what I'm getting at here, guys, is when you're given points of emphasis from a league, which is something that we try to give every season before it starts, we work with the league and we say, hey, what do you guys want to see improve this season? Let's say it's pushing and pulling in the penalty area like this, okay? What that means when they say that is they want this out of the game, okay? They don't like to see it on their soccer matches, Okay, so they want the referees to enforce that even more strict than other kinds of fouls because they don't want it. Okay, so what happens when a referee misses that? Obviously, okay, at this level, guys, the repercussions are huge. Okay, and unfortunately for this referee, his World Cup ended and his chance to referee the World Cup final was eliminated, which is unfortunate because a lot of people thought that he probably would have refereed the World Cup final. That's kind of where he was headed before this happened. So I think the way that we translate this is if we are coaching you on a game and we see you, we expect you to implement those points of emphasis, guys. So when the league at the beginning of the season tells us what those are and we tell you, take note of them. Okay, they're very, very important. Okay. All right. Last clip here. Let's move on to number 5. This was our bonus clip. Okay. We had some good answers on this. So one of the big reasons that we put this as an open answer question and had multiple point possibilities was because this is a very, very tough clip. Okay, it's really tough. All right. So we put it as open answer because we wanted to let more than one decision be the correct answer. Okay. So to just get to the point quickly, the 2 correct answers that we would have accepted would have been no foul or penalty kick, basically. Okay, those are the only 2 things that this clip can possibly be. Okay, we can't have a direct free kick coming out for the white team, and I'm going to hit on that more in a second. But that's kind of why the question was worded this way, was because we wanted to show that not every clip is black and white and easy, and a lot of it has to do with your objectivity on the play and the game. And so as long as you're able to describe what you saw by the laws of the game and verbiage, and you know what you're talking about, then us as referee coaches and instructors, we will be accepting of your decision when we're watching your game, because we don't always see the best angle either. So really a lot of times what we're pressuring you for is just to give us a good answer that is worded nicely, because if you can describe it like that, then we have more confidence that you got it correctly. All right, if you just say, well, I'm not really sure, I think he fouled him, that doesn't give us anything as instructors and coaches. Okay. So this clip, I'll talk a little bit about what happens. It's a through ball. And even us guys among the instruction team, we were kind of split on this decision. Personally, for me, I have no foul here, okay? But other people said that it was a foul, and I completely understand why, all right? And just so you know, all these decisions, they go to a big panel of referees that, when they're trying to decide what they're going to tell the world the correct decision was, they have to vote, was it a foul or was it not? Because people are expecting that kind of, feedback on, well, what's your official decision after the game? I'm not sure, but I can almost guarantee you that this clip was very close to split down the middle, and it just barely was pushed over to no foul. And I don't want you to think that because I think it's no foul that you can't say that it is a foul. All right. You just need to be able to explain it. All right. So I'm going to talk about both sides here. I'll go first with why I think it's no foul. For me, it goes back to the consideration about initiating or exaggerating contact. All right. And for me, I think that the attacker initiates and exaggerates this contact. All right. It's not simulation because there is contact right there. Okay. But I think that he sticks his leg out and keeps it there way longer than he needs to, only for the fact of creating that contact from the defender who has no choice but to go and challenge for the ball. Okay, so that's what I saw. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is that this defender, he does go through the leg right there. Okay, that's a great angle of it. All right, does he make contact? Absolutely. All right, he's making contact with his knee to the back of his calf knee area. All right, that's not minimal contact. That's tough, and it's something that you have to really pick apart. So I definitely am okay with people saying that this is a foul, okay, and it's penalty kick. All right, so if you said foul, penalty kick, and gave a good explanation, you got points for this, okay? So a couple of things I want to talk about with this. We had surprisingly quite a few people say that this was a foul on the blue player and we should have a foul coming out, okay? That is basically the only answer that we were not going to accept on this, was a direct free kick coming out for the white team. It's just not possible, guys. We can't have a foul against the blue player here. All right. The only two options you can have are a penalty kick or no call. All right. And this really goes back to the consistency thing that we have to strive for as a group. If we have one referee 1 week saying that this is a direct free kick coming out, all right, and then the next week we have a referee refereeing the same team, and this happens again, and the referee calls a penalty kick and gives a yellow card, all right, our phones are all going to ring, okay, and they do when stuff like that happens, okay, and the biggest complaint that we get is it's not consistent, all right. Now, perfect consistency is impossible to achieve, all right, but we definitely have to strive for more consistency than this. We can't have a handful of people saying that this is a direct free kick coming out, and then we have other people saying that it's a penalty kick. And then we also have people saying it's no foul. All right. So that range of answers is not a good thing when we're talking about consistency in the eyes of the players and the coaches. All right. So I think that the two that you're okay with are no foul and penalty kick, because using the considerations and the verbiage in the laws, you can explain those better. But what we can't explain is 1 week how we had a referee give this as a direct free kick coming out, and then the next week we had a penalty kick yellow card. Those are complete in opposite ends of a spectrum, and if we do that, then we're not sending a good message to the players in our leagues that we're on the same page as a referee pool. So get consistent with your teammates, okay? Talk about your games, all right? Watch what your fellow referees are doing when you're working the line for them and you're the AR, all right? Our goal is to get consistent and talk about plays. And doing these video clips is one of the best ways we can do that, because it'll show you what we, as the organization and signers and people that lead the organization, what we want, okay? And here, what we want is you to use the considerations to explain what you see, all right? All right, we will say that you can't have a direct free kick coming out here, all right? So unfortunately, if you put direct free kick coming out here, you got 0 points, regardless of how well you explained it. But you can differ on opinions and still be consistent, all right? It's okay, but you have to be able to explain it correctly, okay, guys? All right, so I will be sharing this week's video clips in this email that have the video link in it. So make sure you get on there and fill that out. Take your time. I really stress just use the considerations. Use the pause button. It's very helpful. Pause it at the moment that you think you need to, really dissect and pick apart, and think about it before you put your answer in, okay? And use the considerations. I'll say it again. All right. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions or comments to these clips, please email me, reach out, instruction.fbsoa@gmail.com. I'm happy to go over them personally with you and explain a little bit more in detail. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a great week.